All right, y'all. What the fuck is up, Denny's? How we doing today? I'll give people a second to realize that I'm here and get settled in and get started. If we could all check in, see how everybody's doing, make sure y'all can hear me okay. Hell yeah. Okay, Steven, I'm glad you're here because we're doing your segment first. Tight. Grand Slam o'clock, you know what it is. You know they do have vegan food at Denny's. It's it's a vegan pancake and hash browns and fruit, I think. It's okay. Now, to be fair, I got it delivered at like 1 in the morning, so maybe not the best way to like try it the first time or whatever. It's probably better fresh. But I also was pretty stoned. So like that feels like how you want to be when you're eating Denny's, you know? But I think if I got really stoned and I walked into the restaurant, that would be the time. But it's like, it's like a healthy pancake, you know? It's like a whole grain fucking flaxseed sort of bullshit thing. You know, it's not like, oh, this is our regular pancakes, but it's vegan. It's like, no, this is the health option and it's also plant-based. Whatever. Not my jam, but whatever. Um Let me do this real quick. You know, it's weird to me that the link for the stream is not just like extremely accessible to me, like right on this little thing on the in the studio window. Like, hold on, if I do this, what happens? Probably not what I want. I guess we'll find out. No, don't do that. Okay, that's weird. I'm just trying to pull the link for the tips so I can put it in the chat. Uh, uh, Notifications. Cool. Let me pull it up real quick. Thanks for being patient. What are you guys up to today? What have you been doing lately? What is bringing you joy? Let's check in. Yeah? This is community oriented. You know what I'm saying? Um, just remove this here. Microphone. Always trying to type and use the goddamn microphone. Oh, cute. I'll have to look at the TikTok. But you could also share here what you found if you feel like it. I went to that black metal festival yesterday. If y'all were here on Friday, that we were listening to all the music from it. This is actually the shirt that I wore. I'm wearing the same shirt today. Um, tap, tap, tap. Uh-huh. And then pin that. Tight. We are out here. Hello, working at the record shop right now? Yo. We got record store employees. Are you playing this stream out loud to the entirety of the record store? How was the show? Any recommendations of bands? Yes, I for sure do have that. Um Oh, sick. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yes, you're playing it out loud in the store? Hell yeah. Propaganda. The gay agenda is in full swing. Are you guys open late or are you on the West Coast? Because I guess either of those would make sense. Um Hi Amelia, thanks for being here. Um You're watching the Sato box sets. That's sick. I Yeah, it is pretty amazing stuff. You're not wrong about that. Let me move this to real quick. West Coast till 6. That makes sense. All right. Wizard of Oz box set, 3-pack of Steven Seagal movies, Underworld set, and Superbad for me. Thank you. Nice. I'm glad you found it. Jim, hello. Thank you for being here. Um, the show yesterday, it was really good. It was kind of exhausting because it went from like 4 till 1 in the morning. I left early, but it's a space I've never been in before. It's a DIY space that's like an underground basement that's set up like a goddamn cave, like straight up. Um, which is pretty sick. Honestly, I was a big fan of the space, and there was like leftist murals all over the place. Cool spot to host a black metal gig for sure. Cave setting with good politics. I only saw one person wearing a Nazi shirt, so that's pretty good for black metal standards. There was this girl wearing a Hate Forest shirt, and I was just like, that's one that I feel like goes under the radar a little bit. It's better than like fucking Burzum or something, but like, and like, I feel like that is one that has some level of plausible deniability, but she was also wearing like Viking shit, and so I was like, I don't know, man. The fucking blonde girl with the Hate Forest shirt is probably not a Cash Money person, you know? Yeah. But for a black metal gig, honestly, there was like hella queer people and people of color there. It was really cool, actually. Much more diverse crowd than I'm accustomed to at these things. Did I watch Strange Darling? No. No, not yet. Um, I think it's the other way around, Jeff. I think that they're actually Druk is sketchy because the members are in Hate Forest. It's like very similar. I think it's almost the same lineup. And Hate Forest had some releases back in the day with like all sorts of sketchy shit in the liner notes and stuff. And yeah. Um, but yes, I caught most of the bands yesterday. I had to skip Satanic Magic because I was having a bit of an anxiety moment, and I also needed to go eat something. And I left before Evoken started because everybody was running late, and it was very late, and I was very tired. And I don't know, man, watching a Funeral Doom band at noon 30 is like ambitious, you know? That just sounds like a lot. But I did get to see the main bands I wanted to see, and Woe and Suffering Hour are the ones that I want to mainly recommend, but um, it was running hella late, yeah. I mean, the set times they had set up were pretty ambitious, to be honest. I was like, I don't think they're gonna make this, but they did pretty good, all things considered. Um, what was I gonna say? Tombstalker. Holy shit, that band was hard. They sounded heavy as fuck. They were really good. Um, but Suffering Hour was the band of the night, and it wasn't even close. Like, goddamn, like it's a 3-piece. Uh, just a guitarist doing like some insane wizardry, and then you have the bassist with like the massive fucking tone and real chunky bass riffs, and then the vocals with all sorts of like layering and vocal effects on them that sounded really cool, and then the drummer just doing the most insane shit, like playing like beats and fills that I couldn't even understand how he was doing it. Like I was like, what the fuck did you just do? Um, dude, it's crazy. A friend of mine was saying that he had a feeling they were gonna sound good because a 3-piece is easier to mix, which I thought made sense. But shit, I mean, they're just like the mix of like, yeah, for sure. It's just like a mix of like it's like Imperial Triumphant too, where like the songs are good, like there's actual songwriting there, and they're heavy as shit, and they're like kind of weird sounding, but they're also like insanely like masterfully proficient at their instruments, you know? Um, and so you just get to watch this like incredible technical wizardry while also like, but they're also still like metal dudes at the end of the day, so they're still like heavy and like weird and out there and like, yeah, it's sick. Um, nice. But yeah, that's my review. Valdrin was good, but I left partway through their set because me and my friend were just tapped out, and I took her home, so I wanted to like make sure I had the energy to do that, you know. So we tapped out a little bit early. Yeah. Other than that, they had tattoo artists there too, and they were tattooing like the whole time. Like they were giving people tattoos at midnight in a cave with people drinking. Like I don't know about all that, but you know, whatever. People got their bag, you know. It is what it is. I haven't been to a show in forever. I used to go to a lot of punk shows, but I got old and moved. Now I live like an hour and a half away from the scene. Yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us. I feel like during COVID, I was like, I'm never missing a show again. Like I'm always gonna be there because um, like it's you know I can't take this for granted ever again. I gotta see every band and I gotta like go to every show. And then like I just also the opposite happened where I go to less shows now than I used to because now I'm just like watching movies all the time and that like you know stuck. It wasn't just like a lockdown exclusive thing, right? So I'm also just way broker now, you know, so like it is what it is. You have to be more discerning. It's fun going to metal shows in a church. There's something special about that, you know. Maybe the band that I have the most bragging rights to is I saw Knocked Loose for the first time when they're only the with like it was right when Pop Culture came out, like their first EP, and I saw them in a church like basement, like real DIY show in Troutville, Virginia, just in the middle of fucking nowhere. That shit was fucking insane. Yeah, now they're like the biggest hardcore band on the planet, so that was very cool. Knocked Loose haters, I don't want to hear it. That's like they're so fucking good. They're like one of my favorite bands, and like I still think one of the heaviest bands out there, and like they haven't tamed down their sound at all, despite how big they've gotten. If you don't like his vocals, I mean, I guess I get that, but also like you're missing out because like they're so good and they're so unique, you know. Okay, I think if we didn't scare Steven away with all our talk of heavy music, I think we're I think we're good to announce and start this new segment that was actually his idea, so I want to give him credit for that. But essentially something that I want to do. Okay, good. I'm glad you still exist. That's good. Something that I wanted to do or that he suggested that I think is a good idea to drive engagement, give me like a reliable thing to talk about every week, and also like encourage more tips, so that this can be more of like a I mean the goal is to do this for a job, you know what I'm saying? Like not necessarily live streaming, but like YouTube in general. Like I want to be able to sustain this to a level where like I can like rely on it and stuff. I mean I do have a job, you know, but it's not it's not a very high paying one, you know. So like if I could do this and special features work as like my main job, that would be amazing. So like that's the goal, right? And so something to kind of um incentivize more tipping, right? Because I have something set up on my Patreon right now. I haven't fully announced it, so like nobody has signed up for it yet because I don't think they know it exists. But there is a tier there where I will do where you can essentially commission a review for me, and I'll like do the whole thing. I'll like write a script. I'll yeah, seriously. I'll write a script, I'll like analyze the film, I'll watch all the special features, I'll make a video, it'll be edited, it'll be the whole thing. You can commission it entirely, right? You pick whatever you want and I'll do it, you know. But in terms of just like um if somebody wants me to watch something like and wants to know my opinion on it and wants me to like review it live, that's a much more low stakes format and it's a lot less work and like I can do that more reliably. And thankfully I proved to myself this week that I could do it more reliably because I actually did it. I actually watched everything in time. And so basically I think how this is going to work is I might have to change this price point if this is like a very popular thing because I only have yeah. because I only have so many hours in the day, and I do have another job, and I do have stuff that I'm watching for other projects, and like I feel like I barely have any extra time right now, but like we're gonna make it happen, right? Um, the price point right now I think is $20. If you tip $20 or more, basically in your tip thing, just tell me what you want me to watch, and by the next stream, so like next week, give me a week to do it. I know, really. I'll I'll watch it and I'll review it. And you know, if it's something that you want me to see in the theater, like probably an extra 10 for the ticket. And if it's something that you specifically want me to watch the Blu-ray, like you either need to send it to me or provide the extra funds for me to buy it. Um, and then like, you know, try to if you're gonna be asking me to watch Satan Tango, like I'll do it, but you know, we probably need to adjust the price on something like that, you know. Generally speaking, you know, 2 hours, right? Um, that's $10 an hour, right? That's below minimum wage, right? I don't know. No, it doesn't exactly map onto like a wage or whatever. Okay, I'm glad people like the idea. I feel a little bit weird being like, oh, pay me to watch movies, but like it is kind of my job. And if you want me to you know, do it live for you all, and you know, I'll probably even like cut a segment out of it for like the second channel whenever I launch that. But yeah, basically you can force me to watch whatever you want. So yeah, just that's something there. I've got something for you that is an hour and 10 minutes of hell. I feel like I know what it is, but you know, go for it. So there it is. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So, with that being said, as sort of proof of concept, our friend Steven sent me a couple movies a few months back. I showed them on stream, and they just, you know, ended up in the ever-growing watch pile. And two of them were ones that he wants me to send him back because they're like, you know, more rare or like special or whatever. And I always gotta fucking do this. I gotta change it to the live. It's you as a gift. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I guess that's another thing is like I'm actually gonna have to require a Blu-ray, like the turnaround will be longer on account of that. Um, but yes, he sent me two of these that I'm gonna be sending back to him, and then he sent me one as a gift. And since he's tipped me $150, I've watched all of it. And oh, there's also another one. It's four. It's four titles we're gonna go over today. I watched all of them, so we'll go through that. Gotta close the shop and head home. I'll check it out later. For sure. All the best. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subjecting the record store to my ramblings. And I'll see you later. Okay, so the titles that we're gonna go over today. We're gonna do The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. We're gonna do this sort of double short feature of Rainbow War and what was it also? What was the other one? It's on here somewhere. It's like robot something. Ballet Robotique. Two Oscar nominated shorts. The other one that I don't have with me is what is it called? Haunted Honeymoon. He just sent me the Kino Lorber disc. There's no case with that, and it's right there, filed with the rest of my like sleeved stuff. And then the last one, which I'm pretty excited about, that I finally had an excuse to watch this, is Little Darlings from our friends over at Cinematograph. So I guess let's just go in the order that I watched them. Okay, first one is, I guess it's just shortened to Buckaroo Banzai. I don't know, man. With a title like The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, I was expecting something way more fun, I guess. And you know, here's your proof of concept, okay, that you're also gonna get. You did. Here's your other proof of concept, right? That I'm going to offer you an honest review because Steven paid me a lot of money, and I'm gonna be honest about how I feel about these things. I'm nothing if I don't have my integrity, right? Um, I don't know, man. I landed on a 4 out of 10 for this one. I really just struggled to pay attention or even follow what was happening. I gotta say, I respect it a lot more than I actually like it. You know what I mean? It is something where I respect how audacious it is and how like bold. No, yeah, for sure, exactly. Um, like, and that's the idea, right? Like, I want to make sure people know, like, you're not just like tipping so that I like give something a good review or whatever, or like validate your opinion or whatever. Like, if you genuinely want my perspective, like, you'll get it. Uh, and then, what was I saying? Yeah, this is not based on like existing IP, right? Like this is a fully original thing, and like it doesn't do it doesn't do a lot of legwork to like catch you up or contextualize what you're watching, right? So like you're just kind of thrown into the deep end, and like you know, it they just kind of expect you to catch up. Um, but it is kind of like a high concept like sci-fi film. Let me pull up the Letterboxd synopsis so I'm not making anything up or lying or whatever. um, Adventurer slash surgeon slash rock musician Buckaroo Banzai and his band of men, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, take on evil alien invaders from the eighth dimension. So like that's insane, right? Um like there's so much going on in that. And like I felt like I don't know. There is really nothing else like it. I'll give you that. Like there's so many different elements, and I mean, maybe that's part of why I dislike it is that there's so many elements like blended together, and it feels a little bit half baked, or like there wasn't exactly a ton of effort put into like producing like a compelling script as opposed to just like all these crazy ideas. Buckaroo is almost impenetrably opaque. It pretends to be like the fifth installment of a series with no context. Like, why are the black electroids Jamaican? There's just so much going on. And John Lithgow's performance in this is completely insane. Um, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I always felt like it was a prefab cult film. What does prefab mean? Um, Pre-female at birth. um, No, I definitely see the appeal, and I definitely see why it has caught on and become such a cult classic and like prefabricated. Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. It does feel like it's made for that purpose, like explicitly. But yeah, it's um yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to talk about it John Big Booty. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing is like the humor is a little bit juvenile. Like they've got names like Big Booty and then like that's the joke. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Um Look, I'm talking about this wearing a Phases of Death shirt, right? I'm not exactly a stickler for highbrow stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know, man. It just wasn't on my wavelength, right? Um Let me pull up the because I meant to do this and I didn't end up having time, but I meant to just like pull up the Wikipedia and be like, what the fuck was this movie about? Like, um, the film centers upon the efforts of the polymath Dr. Buckaroo Banzai, a physicist, neurosurgeon, test pilot, and rock star. I don't know, man. The film is a cross between the action, adventure, and science fiction film genres and also includes elements of comedy and romance. It just, in general, it really feels like literally, okay, you got there first. It feels like kids slamming action figures together and making up a story. It feels like we needed to narrow down the scope a little bit. Like, it's like I kind of I understand where this comes from too, where it's like, oh, I have my chance to make the movie that I want to make. I gotta fit as much into it as possible because I might not be able to make a second one. So let's just put all of the ideas in here instead of some of the ideas or even the ideas that actually work, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. I just found it like impossible to follow or understand. And that could be a me problem, you know? It is what it is. I respect that they got this made. Like, I feel like someone wasn't paying it. Someone was asleep at the wheel when they greenlit this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. You got RoboCop as the titular character in this, which is interesting. They retconned that the War of the Worlds broadcast was actually real, and they had to like cover it up and pretend it was fake. I don't know, man. Oh, okay. I'm like reading to see if this is based on anything. I don't think it is, but they hired a novelist to like help with the screenplay and stuff. I mostly just wanted you to have this as a cultural reference point. Original IP, yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you because I think you had said that this was like a film that was special to you or like something. And so I wanted to ask you like what makes this film so important to you or why you felt it was important for me to see it because I'm not trying to shit on it or anything, you know? Like I think one of the best parts about art is how it means different things to different people and like I want to hear what it means to you, you know? Um yeah, there's a like a documentary about the film that's on there. I was on the Blu-ray as well and I think it's longer than the film itself, so I didn't have it in me to to watch that. I saw it very young, and it presents scientists and musicians and weirdos as the heroes in a decade that mostly only had time for macho jerks. That's really fair. Yeah, I see that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. When is this? 84? Yeah. That's true. That's true. I understand that. More power to you to be able to understand this shit as a young child, because I'm a full ass fucking adult and I did not understand what was happening. But um the top reviews on Letterboxd made me want to like it more because I like was seeing the vision. Extreme Coke cinema on all fronts. Yeah, that feels accurate. We need more movies that introduce outlandish original characters with no origin story or anything. Just check out this cool dude who's a rock star and a brain surgeon, and uh-oh, here comes some aliens. We also need more movies where the ending credits are just all of the main characters strutting around to some really sick music. God bless whatever Fox exec fell asleep on the job and accidentally pressed the green light button for this movie with clearly without having read the script. It does feel like a time capsule and like the sort of thing that I mean, what's the budget on this? 17 million? What's that adjusted for today? 17 million dollars worth today. So this is essentially a $50 million movie today. I feel like nobody is given something like this $50 million in the year of our Lord 2025. It took so many viewings to understand it. That okay. That makes me feel better. The end credits to The Life Aquatic is an homage to the end credits sequence in this. Nice. I do love The Life Aquatic. That shit kind of bumps. Honestly, that movie is pretty amazing. Yeah, that's fun. All right. We'll talk about this one briefly. You didn't necessarily ask me to cover this one this week, but this is the other one that you sent that you wanted back, so I figured I'd do it now while I'm sending you something back. But these are the Oscar nominated short films. Let me read the back of this DVD from Pyramid Media. It says, for assistance or for more information, call toll free to Pyramid Media in Santa Monica, California. I'm curious where you got this. Like, how did you find this? um, so this is 86. And it says, today more than ever, we face the challenges of cultural diversity in both education and the workplace. Rainbow War is a welcome, whimsical reminder that we are all members of the same human family and that we all benefit from attributes of openness and goodwill. As the film explores the origins of prejudice and isolationism in an imaginary world, we begin to see that ignorance is the root of intolerance and the fear of the unknown engenders suspicion and mistrust. Rainbow War is a dazzling film in which three kingdoms, one blue, one red, and one yellow, fight a colorful battle for supremacy. Paint buckets, brushes, and rollers are the weapons in their splashy slapstick struggle. But in the end, all are winners, as confrontation is transformed into collaboration and colors blend into the world's first rainbow. Rainbow War is ultimately about possibility and hope. If we can remain open-minded and extend the hand of friendship to all people, our life experience will be greatly enriched. Rainbow War features spectacular special effects and stirring music performed by London's Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. It's a delightful allegory about tolerance and goodwill, a hit with audiences of all ages, and a perfect point of departure for discussion. I ordered it directly from the distributor. It does not exist streaming or for purchase on online stores. Let me see if I can find it online. I like how the back of the DVD is just like, doesn't just tell you like, it does the full analysis for you on the back. Like, all right, you guys did it for me. I think the analogy gets a little bit messy, as you could kind of see. There's definitely some elements of like colonialism happening there, where they're like trying to. Maybe this isn't the analogy isn't getting messy. I think it's just also about colonialism, and how they're trying to like force their way of life on the other. Sorry, I'm just seeing a headline in my open Firefox tab that I'm like, I don't know about that. Oh boy. What was I saying? Yeah, so they're like trying to force their like color on the other factions of the planet or whatever, and like I don't know, there's definitely a colonialist sort of element to that as well. All right, Rainbow War uh, film. Let's see. It is on YouTube, although it's here recently, so I don't know how long it's gonna last. Expo. It was shown at the 1986 Expo, World's Fair. The theme was transportation and communication, world in motion, world in touch. 22 million visitors. Oscar nominated short. Oh, somebody else uploaded this 6 months ago. So, Earwig VHS archives. So this is going to be of lesser quality, but it is still there. So if y'all want to watch this, it is on YouTube. Let me see if the other one is on YouTube. This is very funny. Someone uploaded the opening to the 16mm Ballet Robotique as their 5 subscriber special. Bless this person. And it opens with thank you for 5 subscribers for like a while. They now have 58 subscribers. I wonder, did they do THX and Fox Disney Fan 2003? Do not flag my videos. No hating me. No blocking me. No hacking me. If you break my rules, you will be blocked forever. I like cars. This is incredible. um. Oh, that's the last thing he uploaded. So there's no... This is something else. Sorry, I'm just fucking enraptured by this YouTube channel. Also some anti-monarchy and workers' rights issues at play. Yeah, I'm just sending the link to this because I'm just truly enraptured by this YouTube channel. There's one that says my reaction that Fox and Logos Fan 2005 got terminated, and it's just Bart Simpson screaming. So I guess his channel got nuked. Andrew Grew grounds Lightning McQueen and gets grounded. What is happening? What am I looking at? This is just like bizarre like ephemera from this person's like brain and personal collection of things, I guess. I don't know. Back to my original search. If this film has also been uploaded somewhere. I don't think it's on YouTube, but let's see if I can find it somewhere else. Because I liked this one better, actually. It is on the Internet Archive in not the best quality, but you know, it's there. So check that shit out. Anyway, yeah. I was kind of not sold on Rainbow War at first because it's like, I don't know, it's a little bit silly, it's a little bit goofy, it's a little bit reductive, it's a little bit obvious, it's very like lib coded, you know what I mean? Like the idea being that like, oh, if only like tolerance, or like if only we can solve bigotry sheerly through like exposure and education, which I think, not to get too political or like theoretical or whatever, but I think is missing like sort of materialist analysis of like people generally are like, I think bigotry stems from one, like ideology, but two, like material conditions, and this sort of only uh attempts to tackle one of those things. And I think depending on when you ask me, I would say the less important of those two things. Other days I think it might be the more important of the two things, just like sheer bigotry as opposed to like material conditions or whatever. But generally speaking, I think that bigotry spreads through is because of capitalism. Honestly, like because people have a material incentive to keep others below them on the totem pole and like ostracize and scapegoat others that are easy to do that for too, right? But then at the end of the day, I was like, this is kind of crazy. Like the special effects in this are kind of nuts, and like the like artistry and the kind of visuals and everything, like it's pretty wild. And I had to appreciate at least what it was trying to do, right? I don't know, man. In the year of our Lord 2025, this feels a little bit quaint, but also like, I guess we got to go back here, right? We got to reestablish our shared premises a little bit, right? Come on, y'all. Like, get it together, right? Maybe we should start showing this in schools again, and then fucking libs of TikTok would have a hissy fit about it, and you know that would be good and cool. Um, the Yellow Queen is pretty great. The Yellow Queen is kind of cunt with it, honestly. And yes, the special effects are amazing. Like I'm like, how did they make this? I mean, I think it's clearly like sound stage stuff, but like it's actually very, very impressive and like feels, I don't know. I don't know. If like generally you can look at or at least I can look at something and be like, I have an idea how they made that. But I was looking at this, I was like, this is crazy. I don't know how they made this. But yeah, that's that one. And then ballet robotique is basically just robotics and automation or a car factory. They're building cars, right? And it's synced to classical music. So it kind of makes the point. What is it trying to say? It's like trying to say that like I don't know, I think it's trying to show an artistry to like uh what is kind of considered to be like because it says it explicitly at the end. It was like, thank you to these people for helping make this. By the way, robotics are made and operated by people. Like that's the part that's important to keep in mind, right? Felt kind of important for our current discussions on like AI and stuff like that, where I think people forget that there is always a human element, so far at least, in AI and in AI production, right? Like somebody prompted it, somebody is maintaining it, somebody is creating the guardrails and adjusting the guardrails. Like it's not just like a rogue robot like doing whatever it wants. Like it's reflecting people's values and people's abilities and people's desires, right? Um, I think people don't forget that, or people don't like to think about that. You know, they want to just blame it on the tool, on the machine, and then leave it at that. Hi, Quinn. Thanks for being here. Yes, Quinn watched this with me. So did Val. I don't think Val's in chat today, but we had a group watch for this. Yellow Queen was indeed amazing. um, Quinn, maybe you can help me out with this because you were the one who pointed this out. But it does it in like chapters or whatever, or like what would you call it? Like movements in a ballet or whatever, and it like I don't know anything about ballet. Like I literally don't know the first thing about it. I know that they like fuck up the girl's feet for it, and that's about. There's a lot of spinning. You know what I'm saying? There's like classical music movements. Okay, so it breaks it up into movements, and apparently the movements that it was titling each section or whatever, like the titles were not correlating to the music that they picked. There's a lot of spinning. Yeah, that's what ballet is, right? You fucking crunch the girl's feet and you make them spin around. That's what it is, right? That's the whole thing. Um, you lose there's a lot of anorexia too. Like that's what I know about ballet is that it like probably shouldn't exist. Um, my knowledge of ballet is through the film Black Swan. Um, it doesn't look great. It's not looking great, you know? Um, but yeah, it's basically trying to say. Oh, but what I was gonna say is like it has the different movement titles, and they don't correlate to the music that is being chosen. And I'm not sure if that's on purpose or if they are like me and they don't know the first thing about ballet and they didn't think to ask. Um, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think it's just sort of like trying to find artistry in like the most mechanical and most like rote and automated pieces of our society. I think it's sort of making an argument for artistry in like manual or like rote or like blue collar labor. I thought it was a really cool idea and a really cool concept, and it was fun to watch. If you're really into like how it's made or something, like this is the artsier short film version of that for you. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Haunted Honeymoon. I'm gonna share my screen for this one because I just had the disc and I popped it in, and come to find out that Kino Lorber, in their infinite wisdom, especially back in the day, did not put subtitles on this disc. Such as it is. What can you do, right? And so I checked, and a friend of mine had it on his Plex server, so I watched it there instead, so that I could have the subtitles. So just so there's some kind of visual element, let me get this going on the screen here. I'm gonna do this and then move it there. Cool. And then let's go here. That looks pretty good. All right. So with this one, actually, hold on. Let me readjust. Sorry, y'all. I'll bring this over back in a second. Yeah, no, you're good. I don't know why it is, but like back in the day, Kino Lorber was not like making moves as a boutique distributor. They were just kind of like, yeah, we're just like a studio, you know? We just put shit out. We like crank shit out, and now they're like they have a little bit of incentive to actually make the shit that they do worth the investment. So they're doing more special features, they're doing slipcovers, they're doing subtitles, that kind of thing. But a lot of their old titles just don't have subtitles at all, which to me is like bare minimum shit when you're putting out a disc, but I digress, right? In any case, I thought it was funny because you had told me like just a heads up, this isn't very good, but it is very like unique or whatever. And I'm gonna be honest, I liked this movie. I liked it. I don't generally so like comedy is harder for me because it doesn't always age well. It doesn't always like you kind of it's a way more subjective thing like whether or not something is funny, you know. And sometimes if it's just not funny to me, like it's gonna be so tedious like getting through it. And this is Gene Wilder, who is a little bit of a mixed bag for me. Oh no, I'm thinking of Mel Brooks. Um, but he's in that sort of um yeah. um you know, the obvious point of comparison to this would be Young Frankenstein, which I don't think this is as good as, but also that movie isn't as good as I remember it being. Like I rewatched it recently and like it's really good, but like it was one of my favorites growing up, and now I'm like, this is really slow and not as funny as I remember. Um, and this is kind of like a similar thing, like a gothic horror comedy, but this had much lower ratings, and you know, I was kind of like, all right, we'll just see how it is. But I liked it. Like I didn't think it was that funny, and I didn't find myself to be particularly compelled by the story, but like I love the vibe. Like I loved hanging out in this like atmosphere. Let's see what the backdrops look like. Maybe we can get a sense. Um, in any case, this one's better. Um, yeah, I don't know. I love spooky castles. I love old fucking like if you make a movie that's set in a castle and you shoot it on film, I'm gonna be into it. I'm gonna be into it on some level. I did read the plot synopsis and it got a little bit convoluted for me as well. But yeah, essentially this guy is getting like pre-wedding jitters. And so the idea is similarly to how you can scare somebody out of the hiccups, they could scare him out of that. And so they like send him to a castle and hijinks ensue. It gets a little bit darker than that. There's murders and all sorts of shit, right? Um, but yeah, I enjoyed this. And um there are parts that I thought were funny. Like at first I was like, this isn't gonna make me laugh at all, but like, you know, it got some laughs out of me. It was funnier than I thought it was gonna be, so I appreciated it on that level as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a well, wait, why do you say that I should read the plot synopsis? Am I missing something really obvious or really big? I'm gonna look at the other posters. Oh, for the viewers. Okay, I got you. Yeah, let me read this too. Radio personalities Larry Abbott and Vicky Pearl are stars of a mystery show. Since they announced their engagement, Larry has been plagued by speech problems and seeking out an unconventional cure. He returns to his boyhood home, a mansion in the countryside, bringing Vicky along. Larry reunites with numerous family members, but discovers that there are sinister things afoot within the walls of the creepy estate. One of these deals, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm a mark for spooky castles, and like, it's a cozy watch, I think. It's got cozy vibes. Haunted honeymoon is my love language. I mean, that sounds fun to me, you know? Like, if I were to get married, I'd be like, let's do a haunted honeymoon. That sounds fun. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's that one. I don't know. I thought it was cozy. I liked it. And then the last one, probably the one that everyone else is the most likely to have seen and maybe even own. Is this one. Little Darlings. The female-centered sex comedy from 1980. Let me read the synopsis and then we'll talk about it. This is from the back of the Cinematograph release, which is a very pretty package, I will say. And you know what? Let me say this at the top real quick. I know that this artwork was subject to quite a bit of controversy. I don't know why. I think it's great. I think it's beautiful. Like, this is genuinely one of my favorite covers that came out that year. And I think it fits like the vibe and the aesthetic, and like I think it properly calibrated my expectations for like what to expect with this sort of thing. I really like it. Okay. In the fleeting summer days of 1980, 15-year-old girls Ferris and Angel attend Camp Little Wolf outside of Atlanta, Georgia, as an escape from the city. Coming from different walks of life, with the privileged Ferris at odds with the scrappy, streetwise Angel, the two immediately end up in a disagreement during their bus ride to camp, which is only exacerbated by their lodging accommodations once they arrive, bunking next to one another. Fueled by their competitive peers, the two enter into a contest to see who will lose their virginity first. Angel to... This is a bit of a clunky sentence. Fueled by their competitive peers, the two enter into a contest to see who will lose their virginity first. Angel to camper from the other side of the lake, Randy, or Ferris to camp counselor, Gary. Through the trial... Sorry, this is also like murder to read. Like, the text is difficult. Through the trial, the two learn as much about each other as they do themselves, turning a ribald competition into budding days of friendship. Long elusive on home video, Ron Maxwell's charming teen sex comedy / drama is an evocative and often very funny antidote and precursor to the more raucous and masculine sex comedies of its era, including the similarly loss of virginity focused Porky's and Losing It, written by Darlene Young and Kimmy Peck, with lush on-location photography by noted Czech cinematographer Bedfich Bafka. Cinematograph is proud to bring Little Darlings to Blu-ray and 4K UHD for the first time in the world, newly restored from archival elements and full of illuminating special features that tell the story of this contemporary coming-of-age classic. New 4K restoration from the original camera negative. And there's some cool special features on here too. There's 2 audio commentaries. There's alternate scenes for the TV cut, the video essay from Sam Teagan, which I did watch. And then there's essays as well, by Kate Hagen, and Quatoila Murray. I hope I pronounced that right. Nice. Can we do a tip review request here, or is it... You can absolutely do it here. Yeah, go for it. I don't know, what do you mean by pattern exclusive? Basically, whenever you do it, the next week I'll get it reviewed for you. Yeah, go for it. So, Little Darlings. This film had been hyped up quite a bit. Not just from... Oh, Patreon. No. Yeah, so the Patreon review, there is a version on Patreon that I'll do like a full fucking like analysis edited thing, like I'll go real deep on it. But here it's just for me to do a review exactly like these the following week. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, this one had been like really like every single person that I knew who had seen this was like, this is like a 9 or a 10. It's amazing. Like it's like this underseen classic, and like it's beautiful, and it's like really like feminist and subversive and all this. I think all of these things are true, to be honest. I think it is pretty amazing. I think it is pretty much a classic, and I think it should be like regarded in the canon of cinema that's like must watch, you know? Like I think it is a really important movie, and I think it is really well made. I think it's really funny. I think it's really charming. I think it's really sweet, and I think it's beautiful. Like the way it looks especially is so good. Like this is running circles around the like other teen sex comedies of the 80s. Like it's not even close, you know? Like some of those films might be like funnier depending on. Oh hell yeah. I appreciate that. That is convenient for me, so I appreciate it. I'd love to see you review Willow. I saw that one in the theater as a kid. I don't know if it's a good film or if I'm just nostalgic. Let's find out together. That was on my short list to watch too, so I appreciate that a lot. Let me finish my Little Darlings review, and then I'll also talk more about this segment in general and stuff that you can pull from or whatever. Sick. I'll do that one next week. Yeah, I think that it is now we're at 6.67%. That's so close. So close to 6.66. Yeah, okay, that being said, I think personally I was hoping for more of like a personal emotional connection to the film. Like I was hoping it would move me more, or I would just feel like I was hoping for a 10, you know? And I didn't get a 10, but I think it's a very strong 8, and I think upon a rewatch it could be a 9. I do think it's great. Like I do think it's really special, and the performances in it are so good. Matt Dillon is in this. I think this is, if not his first performance, it must be one of them, because he was like 16 in this. He's really good. You know, I don't know, like there's so many opportunities for like this to go wrong, or like this to age really badly. And like, I mean, maybe there's like a handful of moments here and there that would maybe look different if it was made today, but like I think it's extremely progressive, and I think it holds up extremely well. And yeah, I don't know, it's nice to like watch a movie about teenage girls that isn't like overly like objectifying or like patronizing. It's just a very like tender, full-fledged like sort of what is it that I'm trying to say? Nuanced. Is a nuanced take on the genre, on the subject matter, on I'm sure this you know, it's like every time they could have made the wrong choice, they just didn't. It is pretty astounding. Like there's a handful of shots here and there that you could make the case sexualize their bodies, but it's like way more subtle, and it's like it's borderline. It's like, you know, reasonable people could disagree about it, I think. And then maybe the way the camp counselor is handled is like just a touch more on the side of like, I'm not sure that every single aspect of this would fly today, and like maybe we're like, honestly I think it's fine. Like I think it's nuanced, and it's like he's meeting her where she's at, and he's like treating her like a full person, and not just like, you know, if anything, we like the culture that we have today kind of doesn't allow for these kind of nuanced portrayals of dynamics and explorations like this and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it feels like if this was made today, it would just be like the writer would be so focused, like so laser focused on making sure the audience knows that this is not okay, that like we don't get to like just understand that and like figure it out for ourselves, and like just see this dynamic play out on its own terms with like messy real human people, you know? But yeah, I mean, look, I think maybe I was expecting perfection, and so that's why I was kind of like nitpicking little things here and there. But like, if you handed this to me and I didn't know anything about it, and you were like, "Here's this '80s teen sex comedy about girls trying to lose their virginity," and I put this shit on, I would have been like, "Holy shit!" Like, it's not even close to what I would have expected. With that premise in mind, like it's so tender, it's so sensitive, it's so thoughtful is another word that I want to use for it. What movie am I talking about? We're talking about Little Darlings from 1980, released by Cinematograph Films. This is my first release of theirs that I'm seeing also, by the way, and I really like their disc menu. I know that's a little thing, but I really like their opening logo and their disc menu and like the whole layout of the whole thing. Like they've like, you know, I think it's mainly Justin, but he's really thought this thing out. The only thing, you know, there was much ado made about these custom molded disc trays, and unfortunately, at least on this one, I haven't seen this be a problem with the other ones, but on this one, the top one, it doesn't click. It just kind of comes right out. Thankfully, the bottom one is fine, so that's where I'm keeping the UHD, and then this one, I mean, I think it's fine. I might put a sleeve over it just to make sure it's okay, but to replace it, they'd have to send me a whole new like thing. Little Darlings, yep. And I don't know, it's not worth all that, you know, especially since this is out of print. I don't want to be like rude about it, you know. um, but yeah, it's like this like media book thing going on. The only complaint I have about the packaging, I mean, other than maybe that it's too big, because like this is a lot of shelf space that you're asking me. This is like 3 releases worth. Is the fucking J card? What? Who likes J cards? I mean, I guess Justin does, but goddamn, J cards are the fucking worst. I can't stand them. Have I seen Modern Girls from 1986? I sure haven't. Let me look that up. Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hmm. Finally. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that happens, but basically what I have to do is just switch around my various scenes until it fixes itself, I guess. Usually doesn't take that long, but that's frustrating. I don't know why that's happening. I'll have to look into that later. But okay. I'll go back to what I was saying. I don't know when it cut out, so I'll just start from the beginning, but yes, I do totally understand why you insisted, and I do really appreciate it because like being that this is like my job and stuff, and like also that I'm just very passionate about it and I have a lot of stuff going on. Like between like review copies and keeping up with stuff in the theaters and keeping up with podcasts that I listen to, keeping up with podcasts that I'm on, keeping up with like what I just want to watch to decompress, keeping up with like, you know, things that people recommend to me and like send to me and stuff and all this other stuff. Like there's so many different films and things and people like vying for like my attention, so to speak, like not to like sound conceited or whatever, but like so it's nice to have a way to just like kind of zero in on something and like force something to the top of my priority list, you know, because it stuff gets on the back burner so easily and like I'm just there's always something new coming in or something new that I have to focus on or whatever, you know. um and that's sort of why I like this idea, this format so much, is that like um yeah, like uh I think it's a cool way to like engage with you all and like sort of because like people recommend stuff to me all the time and like unless I have like a concrete reason to like go for it or whatever, or like I just happen to feel like watching it, like even buying something, even spending my own money on something is not always enough incentive to get me to watch it, you know what I mean? Like I'm constantly doing this shit, you know, blind buying shit and not watching it. So like this is fun, this was nice to like actually get to watch some stuff that wasn't necessarily like on my top priority for whatever reason, or even on my watch list at all, you know, just like totally new recommendations and stuff for me, you know. So this was really cool. And yes, as I said, if you want to commission a shorter like sort of like reaction based or like live streamed review of something, $20 is what I have it at right now. And then we'll do this next week. Next week we'll talk about Willow, which by the way, I forgot to do this. Let's run that shit back. Thank you, 9volt. I appreciate you. Thank you all for telling me when my sound was muted too, because that always, you know, I don't know. I need you all to tell me, so it's appreciated. Another thing that I'm gonna do here, let me drop this in the chat. If you want a way to like know what I have accessible to me, here's my Letterboxd list of everything that I have in my collection, and then you can see like hold on, let me just share this. You can see my notes on them, so like what format and everything they are, and like you can see that if there's a rating on it, then I've already seen it, right? But if there's not a rating on it, which there are many, I haven't seen it yet. So that's a good candidate for me because I already have it and everything. If I don't have it, I can obtain it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've got, Jesus, this is embarrassing. I've got 1,300 films here that I haven't seen. That's ridiculous, right? Like, can we sit with that for a second and be like, that's stupid? Like, what the fuck is happening in my life where that is true? That's so much. I mean, if I watched a movie, one of these every day, it would be what? 3-4 years before I got through all of this? That's just not reasonable. That's outrageous, you know? But I do add everything here. So there's like all the supplements and not all of them. I kind of gave up on trying to do all of them, but like to the extent that I'm able to, like all these fucking supplements and stuff and short films and bonus films and, you know, this, that, and the other. So like there's a lot of like making of documentaries and stuff on here that I haven't got a chance to see yet. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm in good company here, right? But like the average person would see that and be like, is something wrong with your brain? Which the answer is yes, there is something wrong with my brain. Um, many things actually. Um, I was talking to my friend last night and I was like, sorry, I'm like kind of sad today or like kind of off today. I just have like 6 different mental illnesses and conditions, so it's kind of a lot, you know. It is what it is, right? Um, but yeah. Is there anything else I want to say about Little Darlings? I would love to hear y'all's takes or reactions on it if you've gotten the chance to see it. Um, that would be tight. But the Sam Deegan um visual essay was good. I liked it a lot. She definitely contextualizes it in the context of all the other 80s sex comedies, which that's not quite something that I had thought about, is that this is actually before all those things. So who knows? Maybe if this was made in '86, like it couldn't be made because they'd be like, no, this isn't raunchy enough, or like this isn't like exploitative or weird enough. You know? Is this what this thing was called? Yeah, I hated this. Oh, this is the same year. Okay, I'm gonna share this. This movie Gorp, where it's like the same thing. It's like a sex comedy set at a summer camp. Hated this. I hated this movie. It's so fucking gross and like it's just whack, dude. Like this shit is fucking whack. Like I watched the Kino Blu-ray because I think it was like going out of print. It's so lame. Like it's just so gross. This is the same year, so like this was definitely a thing already. Okay. Um and what a point of comparison for the same year in terms of maturity and quality and comedy. Like the Little Darlings is also really funny, you know? Like that's it manages to be that also, you know? It's not just like an either or thing, right? I laughed a lot anyway. The same with physical books, way too much on red stuff. Don't even get me started with my books. The percentage wise on that is probably even worse. Because at least it's over half with my movies. With the books, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah. It's I got rid of a lot of books that I had read at least, so that excuse me, that made it worse percentage wise, but like if I read it and I didn't really like it, I'm never going to read it again. Like that's such a bigger time commitment than just like watching something, you know what I'm saying? So like yeah, it's not uh I'm more likely to get rid of a book after I've read it. So I'm more likely to have more unread stuff on my shelf, right? Um I think that's that. Cool, we did it. An hour and 20 minutes. Nice. I was worried I didn't have enough to say, but we're definitely filling time here. Okay, now let's just do, we haven't done this in a while because I had like specific segments and stuff planned, but like let's kind of go through some recent watches. Um help me out here. Where did we leave off with my Letterboxd? Did I review The Carpenter's Son? I would just go back and check, but I probably shouldn't do that. Did I do that? I'm pretty sure I did. I'm just behind on cutting segments out of everything. In any case, I'm trying to figure out where I should pick it up. Because I have quite a few new movies to go over in the month of December. But I guess I'll just do this again. I didn't do this already. Stop me if you've heard this one before, okay? But let's talk about The Carpenter's Son. So, okay, I'll just read my review and then we'll kind of talk about it. I wrote, this boasts a compelling premise, some actively disturbing sequences, and some beautiful cinematography, but unfortunately that's about it. It's very slow, bordering on pointless, and not nearly as subversive or upsetting as I was hoping it would be. At the end of the day, it's just straightforwardly a Christian movie, complete with queer-coded Satan and cheesy demonic effects. While definitely a cut above the vast majority of offensive slop that the Christian right churns out these days, unfortunately the lapsed temptation of Christ, it ain't. Let me read you the premise. Deliver us from evil. I mean, y'all could have workshopped that a little bit. Like, how many fucking movies? You know? Like, come on. A remote village in Roman-era Egypt explodes into spiritual warfare when a carpenter, his wife, and their child are targeted by supernatural forces. So, this was sold to me as like, yo, this is a movie about Jesus, okay? It stars Nicolas Cage and FKA Twigs, right? It's a black director, and it is okay, literally. And Sister Hyde did the poster, and she's the one that put it on my radar actually. And I heard that he did this exclusive, like Nicolas Cage did this exclusively so that Robert Eggers would hire him because he wants to work with Robert Eggers, and he was like, you don't really do any period piece stuff, and he was like, fuck you, I can do that too. Yeah, damn, I so wanted this to be good. I mean, how could you go wrong with FK Twigs as Mary? Literally, I was like, this has to be good. This has to be subversive in some way and like interesting. Oh, and also it's a horror movie. So I was like, great. Religious horror. We're in my wheelhouse. It might trigger me, but like whatever. Like it's going to be sick, right? I think the director is Egyptian. Yeah, I mean, so that is like I guess that's it could be considered borderline, but like he's like technically African American, right? I mean, I guess you could say that so is Elon Musk, but like, I think that counts as a black director. I don't mean to like begin in weird territory here. I'm not trying to like uh debate the legitimacy of any sort of like racial identity or whatever, but like I thought that counted, right? Anyway. And yeah, it's just not that good. I don't know, like there's just not much here. Like it just is a very I don't even know that they had anything to say or anything particularly like I'm wondering like what the point of this was. Like who was this for, or like what were you trying to say with this, you know? And I'm just not sure. Like I don't think it says anything particularly new or unique or subversive about Jesus, about Christianity, about anything related to that, you know? Like there's a couple scenes that are pretty fucking disturbing. Like there's this one part where he's like hanging out where all the people are crucified and stuff, and like the sound design there is very good. Like it's pretty horrific and like uncomfortable. I mean, some of the like I'm gonna say the performances are good. I don't know, like the special effects are like cheesy as fuck. They're not that great. It's just sort of this wasn't for me. This didn't hit the mark, unfortunately. And yeah. There was a lot of talent behind this, and I was gunning for it, and I went to see it in the theater and everything because I wanted to give it a shot, but unfortunately this was not for me. So that's that one. Moving along. Hello? Yo, Letterboxd better not be down right now. For real? Letterboxd down right now? Bro. Someone help me out. Is that just me? Is that just my internet, or is Letterboxd literally down while I'm doing my Letterboxd stream? Because that would be fucked up. Bro, I think Letterboxd is down while I'm doing the goddamn stream. That's crazy. I mean, I try to go. Okay, it's not just me. Great. Letterboxd is literally down as I am doing my Letterboxd update. That's transphobic, if I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, okay, can I be radically vulnerable with you all? It's transphobic. Fuck me. Okay. Well, I can't load the screens, but I can see the page is already loaded for a couple. Is it back? Is it back? Ooh, I think we're back. Nice. Um, Sick. Okay. Thank you for keeping me grounded here, updating me and everything. The Yeah, I think we're back. It was not working on my computer or my phone, and now we're back. So tight. Okay, we're gonna power through. The next film I want to talk about is J. Kelly. Um, this is a Netflix film that I got to see in the theater, and I really am glad that I got to see it in the theater because this is a movie like about movies, and it really works in a theater. You know. Here's what I wrote about it. Not sure if I would or would not recommend this if you're also actively undergoing an identity crisis. Really, really good though. So I'll do my best to talk about this without spoiling it. But I mean, it is kind of inherent in the premise here. Okay, it says everybody knows Jay Kelly, but Jay Kelly doesn't know himself. Famous movie actor Jay Kelly embarks on a journey of self discovery confronting both his past and his present, accompanied by his devoted manager, Ron. This stars George Clooney as the sort of like platonic movie star, I guess, and Adam Sandler as his manager. They're both excellent in this, by the way. Laura Dern is also his not his manager, but like his public relations person or whatever, and she's excellent in this too. I think that this is the kind of it's directed by Noah Baumbach too. I think this is the kind of thing that could fall into, or like a certain person could watch this and be like, cry me a fucking river. Like rich famous people being like, oh, it's so hard to be rich and famous. Like, fuck you, you know? Like maybe that's not what the world needs right now, you know? But it really worked for me. It was very emotionally resonant for me. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that I'm like also a semi like I am a public figure. Like to say that I'm like anywhere close to the level that this character or the people in it are is like not accurate. But like at the end of the day, I am like a public figure and most people aren't, you know? So like I could relate to parts of this or like there was some kind of shared identity there, right? Um and yeah, maybe this could come across as like a little bit uh like self-filleting or like maybe like a little too inside baseball, like when Hollywood people make a movie about Hollywood and about movies and about that all that stuff. You know, it can be a little bit like this is a movie that we're making for us and for each other as opposed to like for the general public or whatever, but I don't know, man. I just thought it was a really compelling like human story and like I keep coming back to this in certain films that come out this year, but like I really, really respect and love a like drama or a comedy that looks like a movie, that is shot like a movie, that feels like a real movie, that is like takes care in its like cinematography and in its framing and in its sound design and like it isn't just relying on a performance and a script. It's like, no, we're actually gonna make this look good, you know? It looks great. Like I love the aesthetic and the visuals of this film. But yeah, this is essentially about a man having a late career sort of crisis and like he has had everything you could ever want. He's like very successful. He's getting like a legacy kind of award, but like um his relationship with his daughter is strained. His relationship with his other daughter is on the rocks. Like he's like hurt a lot of people along the way to get to where he's at and like he's just kind of reckoning with all of that, you know? I struggle with Bombach. The only one I like was Meyerowitz stories. I don't know what that is. I will say I haven't. Okay, I see it here. Okay. I'd be interested in checking this out. Um, the only other one that I've seen two of his films. I've seen Kicking and Screaming, which I didn't love. I mean, he co-wrote Barbie, which I did love, but The Squid and the Whale is one of my favorite movies. I love it so much. I love it so much. Um, I've been wanting to rewatch that. Um, Almost the same film. Damn. Okay. Well, maybe it wouldn't hit as hard if I had already watched him make it once, but this is one that I really liked. I don't know. I just thought it was really it felt really honest. It felt really I think it takes a lot of guts to play this role, like when you are this character basically. Like it's like I feel like people would have seen this and then asked George Clooney if he's okay, you know, like, "Hey man, are you good? Do you regret your whole life?" um I don't know. Like I did think that this was a kind of a gutsy movie and a gutsy role. It's like kind of self-critical of like the entire industry and like the sacrifices and the kind of like people that are hurt on the way to like achieving greatness in this medium and everything, you know? And it's just kind of a quiet, sort of like nicely paced, like very contemplative, you know, like it's not like laugh out loud funny, but it's funny and it's sad and it's tense. Like there's all these things happening in like smaller doses, but it kind of builds. And the end is just like I think it's devastating. Like I don't know. I think we can like dehumanize people who are like this famous or this like detached from like the average lived experience, you know? And like I think that that's fair and I know where that comes from, but at the end of the day like these are also people and I don't know, I think it really does take a minute to like humanize this experience a little bit and like I thought it was really sad and like, you know, I said it in my review, but it was like, fuck. I don't know if this was cathartic or like difficult. Like if you're also going through like kind of a kind of an identity crisis and kind of like a what the fuck am I doing like moment, you know? Like what am I doing with my life kind of moment, you know? Um and yes, okay, this review says it. Crazy for this and sentimental value to release so close together because they make for an almost impossibly perfect double feature. I don't know that I agree with that. I think it was to the hindrance of both of these films that they came out at the same time because they're almost the same movie. Like they're almost the same movie. And I watched them literally a day apart and I was like, what the fuck? I just watched this movie. And I think it can hinder whichever one you watch second because like at least for my experience, like I watched Jay Kelly first and I was really emotionally impacted by it. And then I watched Sentimental Value and it didn't hit that way for me. So I was kind of like almost sort of unavoidably making a comparison and I was like, I don't know. It's not as good to me, so it like kind of suffered a little bit, but that is I'm doing my review already. We'll get to it when we get to it, but like that film grew on me like the more I thought about it. There is something that yeah, there's just one of the top reviews really bothered me. It says ironic that Netflix dropped a movie about the glory of movies and going to theaters the day they announced they could potentially ruin that. That's super not what the movie's about. This is not like a kind of boy, aren't the pictures great kind of thing. It's a lot more self-analytical and like sort of like it's sort of the opposite of that actually, I think. Um I don't know. I really love this. I think it's I like this review. Deeply, deeply sad movie about the sort of person you don't want to shed tears for, so it works that it plays like a Christmas Carol for a solipsistic, absent father and friend. Yeah. Becomes a devastating reminder that we only get one go at this, and sometimes what you thought you would have to show for it doesn't mean anything at all. God, it's so bleak, dude. It's so sad. Like, shit. All my memories are movies. Shit. Yeah. I feel like that could hit for a lot of us, you know? Damn. Yeah, this is kind of like throwing up a mirror to movie people and being like, "Are you sure? Sure this is what you wanted with your life?" I don't know, man. It's bleak. Um, but I loved it, honestly. So it doesn't seem like it's having quite as warm a reception as I would have liked or expected. Like I seem to be a little bit of an outlier in how much I liked it, but it's on Netflix, so check it out. A friend of mine got to see this at its maybe not maybe premiere, one of its premieres at the New York Film Festival with George Clooney in attendance. So like he walked out right after the fucking movie ended, which is kind of insane if you've seen it. Like that would be a fucking surreal experience. um Next is sentimental value. Sisters Nora and Agnes reunite with their estranged father, the charismatic Gustave, a once renowned director who offers stage actress Nora a role in what he hopes will be his comeback film. When Nora turns it down, she soon discovers he has given her part to an eager young Hollywood star. Um, how do I talk about this movie without spoiling it? Because I do think that this is almost exactly the same premise where like a father who is big in the movie business tries to reconnect with his estranged daughter and she's having feelings about it. And like it's sort of like a moratorium on like is the creation of great art worth the costs that it can potentially incur on our relationships, on our person, on our psyche, on the people we love. And I think this might reach a different conclusion than Jay Kelly does. Um and I don't know how I feel about that. Um I think it's interesting. I think it's bold. I like that they took a swing for it. And again, it looks beautiful. God, the cinematography in this is so good. The performances are so good. Like Stellan Skarsgård is amazing in this. How do you pronounce this woman's name? Renat Rainsva? This person? This person? I love her. She's wonderful. She's so good. Um, it also doesn't help. This had a few things working against it. There was the fact that I saw basically the same movie the same day or the day previous, and then there's that this is um his or is it his follow up? I'm trying to think. Joachim Trier. Yes, I think it is. Okay, I think I got him confused with somebody else, but this is his follow up to The Worst Person in the World, which is a film that I love a lot. It's a film that really resonated with me personally, and I don't think that this was as good as that one. That one did more for me personally, but I did still really like it. I did still really like it. And like at the end, when I like at the end of the movie, I was like, man, that was really fucking similar to Jay Kelly, except I didn't like it as much. That's unfortunate. But the more I thought about it, the more like certain scenes from it like really stuck with me. There is a scene that I think about a lot where he has a like he's coming out of retirement and he signs a deal with Netflix to distribute the film. And the interviewer was like, "So you're doing this with Netflix? Is it gonna play in cinemas?" And he's like, "Yeah, where else would it play?" And then like his manager like cuts in to be like, "Oh, we're in negotiations, but that's the plan." And he just looks like dumbfounded and horrified, and I'm like, "Yeah, that is the piece that felt more in line with what's going on right now, right?" Um, but I really liked it, and it's one that I think will reward a rewatch because I think it asks tough questions about the nature of art and of creation and whether or not it's worth it and like our motivations for doing it. Like yeah, I think that this ends on a note that is way more like tender and sweet and positive. But it's also like I don't know. There's something to it where it's like a little bit uncomfortable too and kind of surrendering to like great white men like regardless of the harm they've caused, you know, like how like great art like kind of cuts through all of that, and like I don't know, that could be a problematic sort of starting point in terms of how we want to evaluate art and artists, right? Um, that's that one. Um, Next, I wanted to talk about the Knives Out movies because I watched them to catch up for the new one. So I watched the first one for the very first time, which was kind of crazy because I think it is the most popular film on Letterboxd that I had not seen before. And yeah, I was kind of wondering if I would like it or whatever. I loved it. I fucking loved this movie. I thought it was like so much fun. I just thought it was great. My review reads as follows, quote, "What were the overheard words by the Nazi child masturbating in the bathroom," end quote, is a strong candidate for the funniest line in a movie ever. There are a handful of things that I've seen in movies that made me laugh so hard that I like had to like stop the movie for a while to like kind of get over it, and then even when I played it again I couldn't stop thinking about that one line, and I had to like stifle laughter so as to not distract the people that I was watching it with. And this was one of those times. That line got me really really good. I just thought it was so funny. Yeah, the writing in this, the pacing, the directing, the performances, the cinemas, all of it, it's immaculate. It's so good. It's a blast. I'm not uh I feel a bit of a like silly being like, y'all heard of this Knives Out movie? It's really good actually. But it is. And then we have Glass Onion, which I thought was really good. It was not as good as the first one, but I think it's better than people give it credit for. I think it has a reputation as being kind of lame or like not as good or just like sort of too obvious in its satire or something, and I don't agree with that. I think it's pretty smart, and I think it's very entertaining, and I still think it's funny. I just don't think it's as good. Maybe it had a lot to live up to, but as we'll talk about in a second, like clearly the first one wasn't a one-off either, and like this was not. Maybe people worry that like, oh, he only had one in him, you know, but like I don't think that's true at all when we talk about the third one, right? Night of the World and 9 Volt Digital Cinema. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get your usernames confused because they're like both um very similar, like 4 words, one both starting with an NI word, right? Um, and so it's funny seeing your chats back to back. Uh, Maybe it'll help me sort them out in my mind. um, and yeah, I did still think that it wasn't quite up to that same level or whatever, but I thought it was really good. I thought it was really enjoyable. I liked it a lot. I think maybe it was just stretching the believability a little bit, and I won't talk about why because you know if you haven't seen it, I don't want to like ruin it for you. But also Ben Shapiro had a really stupid take on it that was really funny. Because he has no media literacy and he just watches movies for them to be spoon fed to him and feed his politics back to him. And it's really funny to watch him try to engage with leftist art or art that is challenging even a little bit. Because this isn't exactly deep stuff. It isn't exactly tough to understand what's going on here. And it's a low bar, and my man fucking limboed right under it, you know? And then let's talk about Wake Up Dead Man. Um, Here's my review. It's a tall order to make me sympathetic or emotionally invested in a Catholic priest or in Catholic teachings, but this knocked it out of the park. Goddamn, this was good. I have my rating at an 8, and I kind of go back and forth on whether or not that should be a 9. I fucking loved this movie. It was so good, and yeah, the idea of trying to like sell me on religion, on Christianity, on Catholicism specifically in the year of our Lord 2025, it is, look, You're doing a lot of work there. But I think they were pretty successful. Like I thought that this movie was really moving and really beautiful and really like politically um I don't know, in all of these films, he's not been shy about like tackling the topics du jour, like politically speaking, and like tackling reactionary rhetoric specifically. This is kind of taking a film. This is a film where that kind of what am I trying to say? It takes an issue. Um, sorry, this sentence is really getting away from me. What am I trying to say? Um, there's a fork in the road, I guess, in contemporary Christianity. There's you know, if you're accepting that like you're not gonna make everybody not Christian, like you're not gonna make everybody an atheist, as much as I would like to, you know, I'm definitely coming at this from a hard fucking atheistic perspective. If you accept that Christianity is going to be a thing that we must live with, right? There are two paths forward, right? And one of them is like the fire and brimstone, homophobic, fucking worst people you've ever met, reactionary, fundamentalist, like garbage, right? And then there's a version of it that chooses to interpret Jesus and his teachings in a much more compassionate light and like chooses to interpret because like the thing with the Bible is that it's kind of like a Rorschach test for whoever reads it. You know, there's so much shit in there and so much of it is garbage and so much of it is boring and so much of it is bad that like I don't know, you can kind of like fucking gaslight yourself into thinking it's good by the end of it or whatever and like kind of by design, you just kind of pull apart the things that you liked about it and then use that to justify your narrative. Like you're making negotiations with the text and everybody's doing it. Some people just don't admit it, you know? Most people just don't admit it. Um and so there's a way to do that where you just look at all the fucking awful shit in there and be like, "Yep, that's my shit. Let's do it." And then there's a version where it's like, "Hey, fundamentally Christianity is like actually like a pretty radically like um left wing sort of position and like you know it's all about loving your neighbor and you know community and like giving away all your worldly goods and like it's anti-rich and all this other stuff, right? Forgiveness too is like a thing that can be really bastardized as like escaping accountability or it can be a path forward to restorative justice, right? And I think that that's actually maybe the best idea that Christianity has going for it is that like nobody is completely irredeemable and that people can be like made into better people and that everybody has some inherent worth. You know, there's also the idea though of original sin and so you kind of are contesting that with like the idea that's pretty locked in a lot of faith traditions including Catholicism that everybody is also like fundamentally broken. Um but there's also I don't know, there's a sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but like there's a way to read that where you can be like, yeah, everybody has flaws. Everybody does harm. Everybody like um can be um I don't know, nobody's perfect. Everybody has the capacity for harm and for like bad ideas and bad behavior, right? But like also everybody has the capacity to do and be beautiful things, right? And I think that that is the core thing that this film is tackling and I think it lands in a really compassionate and beautiful place and I just found it really moving. It's also just really compelling. It's still really funny as they all are. But goddamn, dude, fucking Josh O'Connor was so good in this. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know, I'd have to think about it, but like, he would be a strong contender for me for like a Best Actor nomination for the Oscars this year. He was also in The History of Sound, a movie that is hella fucking underrated that I love. He just nails this. He's so good in this. Um, I don't know. I love this movie, so I recommend it. And yeah, more Christians be like this, please. um, boy, we have a ways to go. watched a lot of movies this month. And all the ones that I put in the title are at the end. Damn, bro. It's it's extremely charitable that you assume modern American Christians actually read the Bible. I'm shocked every day by the biblical illiteracy in US culture today, and I'm an atheist. Yeah, so what I'll say to that, because you're right. And when I was a Christian, I didn't read the Bible. Which is insane in retrospect, right? Like if you're a person who believes, oh yeah, this is the like word of the God, the creator of the universe. I'll get to it when I get to it, right? Like that's crazy, right? That should be like the first thing you do is like read that shit cover to cover. But I think what everybody discovers pretty quickly is that the book kind of sucks. Like it's not good. It's not it's not insightful, it's not entertaining, it's not profound, it's not it's none of these things. It's boring and it's stupid, right? Like that's what you find pretty immediately, right? And so people have to be like, well, on my to be read pile, the word of God, literally, right? That's on my watch list. I'll get, it's one of many that I'll get to. I'll get to it after fucking what, House of Leaves or something. like that's crazy, right? That's like a billion people that believe that. Um Speaking of God, the only Josh O'Connor movie I've seen is God's Own Country, which was very good, but also quite dull at times. I don't know that one. Um So, okay, so you find out that the book is terrible. And so you have two options, right? You could be like, one, oops, I guess my ideology is wrong. This probably isn't the word of God because it sucks and it's full of garbage. Like it's pro slavery, it's fucking pro like rape. There's all this horrible shit in it. And like it's pretty straightforwardly unjustifiable. So, my bad on my entire worldview, right? That's option A. Or option B is like, oh, this is amazing and perfect and everything, but I don't get it, right? I'm just a person. My brain is tiny. It doesn't work right? God is the one who understands this, right? That's why he wrote it and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? So like the people appointed to teach this to me will tell me the parts that matter and also tell me how to interpret it, right? That's the path most people take. They're like, I ain't reading that shit. I'll go to church every week. That guy will read it for me and then he'll explain it to me. And I'll just believe that, right? So when I say that there's like two paths forward for how to interpret the Bible, I'm talking about the faith leaders, right? The influencers, the pastors, uh, church leadership, the Pope, those types of people, right? Because those people read the book, or at least they cherry pick from the book, right? And then they preach the book, right? So those people have an obligation and have the choice to go between those two things. I mean, if you're asking me, if you're just asking me personally as a person, I'm like, yeah, read that shit and tell me it makes any goddamn sense or that it like is a good moral foundation at all. Or you could just like throw it in the garbage and like think about stuff. That's my preferred path is everybody just drop it and then we can just like have a conversation about ethics and morality and like how we should like structure our society based on like like things that make sense. Yeah, really. But I understand that that's not where people are at for whatever reason. So it is what it is. People go to church and have people read it for them, right? So those are the people for whom I'm like, those are the people who are kind of driving the discourse and moving forward. And then, just the lay people have the choice of like who they want to listen to, who they're giving money to, who they're giving their attention to, that sort of thing, right? That's my atheist rant for the day. Um, yeah, I'm kind of wondering if I want to if I want to call it or if I want to like power through to the rest of this because I have some other work I need to do today. Could always just change the title since I didn't actually get to everything, but we got through a lot today. Um, yeah, I think I think next week I actually will just probably try to like catch up on this stuff and get all my reviews up and everything. Um, because I am behind. I don't know. What do you guys think? The chat seems to have died down quite a bit too, so um yeah, I don't know. I appreciate you guys hanging in here with me, hanging out with me and everything. Okay, cool. Call it and get your work done. Okay, cool. Y'all are giving me I have a mandate from my constituents to to do other shit. All right, thanks y'all. If anybody has any last minute tips they want to push through or like any more reviews they want to request from me, um I think I'm going to do every Friday actually going forward cuz I there's a never-ending list of things on my to-do list. You know what I'm saying? So like um I think I'll probably do body double streams more or less every Friday cuz that seems to go really well and yeah, it's all good. So um yeah, unless anybody has any last minute movies they want me to to review for next week, let me go ahead and run this shit back here. Thank you as always, 9volt. You're the best. Appreciate you. I'll get Willow watched and reviewed for you next week. I want it to hit 2 hours, so I'll run the clock a little bit. Oh shit, thanks. Thanks, Ragnar. I appreciate that. You're also the best. I'll run yours back too. Fuck yeah. We're out here. Let's do it. Ragnar, you can add another movie to your your order, as it were, if you want. Because I know there's plenty of stuff I know that you want me to watch. So if there's something else you want, just let me know and I'll do that too. And then we'll have 2 movies to review for next week. But I appreciate you. We got 1 minute. 1 minute to vamp here. No, I don't think you were too much today. It was totally chill. But yeah. Is there anything I want to say at the end here? Anything at all? Okay, we're at 10% of our goal. That's pretty good, right? Did I list all the bands I liked at the fest? I did. I did, but just again at the end, my favorites were Suffering Hour, Whoa, and what the fuck was that band called? Tombstalker. Tombstalker. That shit was hard. We were consistently over double digits today, so that was really cool. It seems like people have been enjoying the streams lately, so I really appreciate that. It's been fun doing it, and I hope y'all have had fun watching it. And we're at 2 hours. We did it, y'all. Hell yeah. We are out here. Okay, y'all. I'm going to change the title so as to not... Actually, let me do that right now. Edit. We'll just go with that. Okay, the title is edited, so there is no fake news. I'm not spreading misinformation. Okay, y'all, I appreciate you all very much. I will see you on... Let me check my calendar. Again, I don't want to spread fake news. But I will see you all... Yeah, I'll see you on Friday at like 8, something like that. Because I work until 7. 7. Yes. Okay, cool. See y'all then. I appreciate you. Bye.